she found out her boyfriend had another girlfriend, and she was the other woman.
From rock bottom. This is a true story. The names and some events have been changed to protect the identity of those involved. You are listening to From Rock Bottom. Subscribe to the channel and keep respect in the comments. Do you have an inspiring story of overcoming challenges? Send it to us by email.
I found out my boyfriend had another girlfriend. Yeah, a whole ass relationship. They'd been together for 7 freaking years. And me? I'd been with him for 4. So, do the math. I was the other woman, without even knowing it. And honestly, that realization messed me up. Like, how do you even pull that off? How do you juggle 2 serious relationships at the same time? Were we both just ridiculously stupid? Or was he just that good of a liar? Let me back up a little. Let me tell you how I met this walking red flag wrapped in a cute smile and button-down shirt. We met at work. He worked in a different department, but we'd see each other around. Little glances here and there, small talk in the hallway. It was kind of cute, Engel. Then he started messaging me, flirting, sending those just thinking of you texts. You know the drill. Eventually, he asked me out. And when I tell you he laid it on thick, I mean thick. Said he'd never felt this way before. Said I made him feel alive. All that rom-com nonsense that unfortunately works when you're lonely and hopeful. So, we started dating. That was 4 years ago. And okay, looking back, there were signs, things that maybe you'd call red flags now. And yeah, maybe I was a little naive. But at the time, I was in love. I trusted him. I felt safe. Mistake number 1, he didn't have social media. Like, not a single profile. Not Instagram, not Facebook, not even LinkedIn. And sure, I know some people don't like being online. I get it. But when your boyfriend has 0 digital footprint, it becomes real hard to verify his life, you know? And it wasn't just that. He never let me meet his friends. Said he didn't have many. Said he was private. Said he was still healing from past stuff. And the way he talked about his exes, woo, always the victim. Always the one who got hurt. It's wild how your brain doesn't want to connect the dots when your heart's too busy coloring inside the lines. There were nights he wouldn't text back. Weekends he'd go completely MIA. And when I asked, he always had a reason. Sick aunt, work emergency, dead phone. You name it, I heard it. But again, I loved him. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Every single time. And the worst part? He was good. He was so good at playing the part. Flowers, sweet texts, random surprises, little love notes in my lunch bag. Who cheats like that? Who has time to be so thoughtful while living a double life? It makes you question everything. The way he looked at me, the way he held my hand, the way he talked about our future, the trips we'd take, the apartment we'd move into, the dog we'd get one day. Turns out, he was saying those same things to someone else, probably using the same jokes, the same pet names. God, I feel sick just thinking about it. The worst part was how I found out. And trust me, I'll get to that, but for now, I just need you to understand how deep this went. 4 years of birthday dinners, of meeting each other's coworkers, of sleeping over, of talking about kids, of crying in each other's arms during tough moments. And all that time, I was the other one. No idea, no clue, just blind trust in a man who was literally living a double life. It's not just the betrayal, it's the humiliation, because when I finally found out, when the truth came crashing down like a house of cheap IKEA furniture, I realized how many tiny lies had been building up over time. You ever look back at your memories and start doubting every single one? Like, was he really at a wedding out of town? Or was he with her? Was that cute little necklace he gave me a re-gift? Was he thinking about her while lying in bed next to me? It messes with your head, and honestly, it messes with your self-esteem. Because I started wondering, did I do something wrong? Was I not enough? Was I boring? Was I easy to lie to? But the truth is, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about her either. It was about him and his damn ego. And the fact that he thought he could get away with it forever? Well, he didn't. And trust me, when I tell you how I found out, you're gonna scream. But I'll leave that for the next part. Because, babe, this was only the beginning. Another red flag? He had 2 freaking jobs. So, every time he said he was working, I believed him, no hesitation. Man had 2 jobs. Of course he was busy. With me, Saturdays were our days. He always said Sundays were when he had to get ahead of work, catch up on projects, prep for the week, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool, respect the hustle. But you know what I found out later? Sundays were hers. Yeah, Kate's day. While I was home missing him and feeling all proud to be dating a hardworking man, he was out there being boyfriend of the year to another woman. Anyway, let's get to the part where it all fell apart. The moment everything came crashing down. After 4 years of lies, he hit me up to hang out. We were supposed to meet at this cute little Italian spot I liked. Nothing fancy, but it was kinda our place. He said he'd pick me up at 6. Guess what time he showed up? 8:15. Yeah, over 2 hours late. And listen, I've dealt with him being late before. He always had some excuse. Traffic, work emergency. He lost track of time. I was used to it. Not okay with it, but used to it. So that night, I was already annoyed, super off. And while we were in the car driving there, his phone starts blowing up. Back-to-back calls, same name every time. Kate. Now, that name meant nothing to me at the time, but the way he was acting, red flag waving in 4K. I was like, are you gonna get that? He ignores it. I press again. Babe, it keeps ringing. Maybe it's important. Still ignores it. And I'm thinking, what the hell? So I ask, who's Kate? You know what he says? It's John. Straight face. He says it's his friend John calling. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? John is calling, but the name says Kate. He goes, oh, it's John's wife using his phone. Okay. John's wife's name is Sam, I said, because I knew his friend John. I'd met his wife. Her name was definitely Sam. So, now I'm looking at him like, what the hell is going on? He gets quiet, then lets out this dramatic sigh like he's the one who's hurt. He finally says, okay, look, it's my ex. We started talking again recently. I'm like, what? He goes, she had a family emergency and needed someone to talk to. I was just trying to be there for her. And then, this man has the nerve to say, I guess I didn't realize I still had feelings for her. I wanted to scream. 4 years. 4 years of my life. And you're telling me you just randomly realized you still have feelings for someone you never mentioned before? What are we even doing here? I sat there in the passenger seat completely frozen. I couldn't move, couldn't even speak for a minute. I wasn't even angry at first. I was just numb. How long had this been going on? Was she really just an ex he recently started talking to? Or had she been there the whole time? Spoiler alert, she had. But I didn't know that yet. Not that night. That night, I just sat there thinking, this can't be real. This has to be a joke. And he just kept talking, kept digging the hole deeper. Said he didn't want to hurt me, said he never meant for this to happen, said he was confused. Confused? You don't accidentally date 2 women for 7 years and 4 years at the same time. That takes planning. That takes effort. And the worst part? I still wasn't sure if I believed him. Because part of me wanted to think maybe it really was just some old flame that flared up again recently. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Something told me there was way more to the story. And trust me, I was right. But I didn't find that out until later. That night, all I knew was this. The man I loved, the man I gave 4 years of my life to, had lied straight to my face. For God knows how long. And even as he tried to explain himself, I just sat there thinking about every missed call, every Sunday he wasn't around, every excuse, every little thing that I ignored. And it all started making sense. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Oh, honey, the worst part came after. But anyway, at that moment, I didn't know for sure. I honestly believed what he said, that he was confused, that maybe he still had feelings for her. And look, I didn't like it. At all. It felt off. But I was still so emotionally wrapped up in him I couldn't even process it all. So I did what I thought was best. I ended it. Yeah, I told him I couldn't deal with that kind of confusion, and that if he wasn't sure about me after 4 freaking years, then we weren't supposed to be together. He didn't fight it, just kinda nodded. It was weird. Empty, cold. And then I went home. Heartbroken, yeah. But something inside me kept saying, this ain't over. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't let it go. It wasn't even about him anymore. It was like I had to know the truth. And so I became that girl. Obsessed, determined, low-key stalking vibes. Yeah, I admit it. I was on a mission. Here's the thing. He never had social media. None that I could find anyway. And that made things hard. But I remembered he had this one friend I followed on Instagram. Just one guy from his job that I'd met maybe twice. So I go to this guy's profile, scroll through who he's following, and then, boom, one Kate. Just one. I froze, like my heart started pounding. It was her. I just knew. Profile pic? Pretty normal. Nothing crazy. But her face? It hit me like a truck. So I followed her. Didn't even hesitate. And guess what? She accepted me instantly. No wait time, no private account drama, just boom. Followed back. Then, not even 5 minutes later, she DMs me. Straight up. Hey, do I know you? And I'm like, oh crap. What do I even say? I panicked for like 30 seconds. Then I replied, no, but I think you're my boyfriend's ex. I hit send, heart racing. And her response? Ex? We've been together for 7 years. 7 freaking years. I just stared at the screen. I couldn't even breathe. I typed, wait, what? I thought you two broke up. And she sends back, no, never. We've been together non-stop. Since college. My hands were shaking. I replied, I was with him for 4 years. And then it just spiraled. We started going back and forth like 2 FBI agents comparing evidence. She started sending screenshots, messages, photos, dates. I did the same. And it was horrible, so horrible. There were pictures of them on vacation, on our anniversary. He told me he had to work that weekend. Turns out, he was in Cancun with her. He got her a necklace for Valentine's Day, and sent me flowers 2 days later, saying the florist messed up the date. He had a whole life with her, and a whole life with me, simultaneously. We were both just sitting there in different houses, in different cities, staring at our phones, realizing that the man we thought we loved was the same man, and he'd been living a double life for years. Neither of us could believe it. Kate was crying. I was sick to my stomach. And it was weird, like we weren't mad at each other, we were in this together. We were victims. We both felt stupid. We both blamed ourselves. But deep down, we knew it wasn't us. It was him. He was just that good at lying, at splitting time, at keeping his two worlds from ever crossing until they did. And you know what haunts me? He didn't even seem nervous when I broke up with him, when Kate started calling that night. He was so calm, like he was used to the chaos, like he thought he could talk his way out of anything. But this time, we had receipts, screenshots, dates, proof. And after 4 years of lies and gaslighting, I finally had the truth. But it didn't end there. Oh no. So, after Kate and I figured everything out, I confronted him. I told him straight up, "It's over. You're a liar. You had a whole other relationship for 7 years while being with me for 4. You don't love anyone but yourself." I told him I could never trust him again. That even if I tried, even if I wanted to believe he could change, I knew deep down he would just do it again. And you know what he said? He agreed. Yeah, dead serious. He nodded and said something like, "You're probably right. I probably would do it again." I was shocked. Like, excuse me? Who says that? No remorse, no shame, just straight up, yeah, I'd cheat again. I mean, at least he was honest, eventually. Anyway, I was already shaking, furious. So what did I do? I wrote him the longest, most dramatic text of my life. And yes, I'm dramatic. That's just who I am. I poured my entire soul into that message. Every single thought, every piece of betrayal, every tear I had cried, I wrote it all. It was practically a novel. I sent it, and I waited. He saw it, left me on read, and then he blocked me. Yeah. After everything, he read my whole heart and soul poured into that text and just blocked me. I wanted to scream, cry, punch a wall. But the worst part, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop obsessing over the fact that I had been played for years. I needed closure. I needed answers. I needed to understand how the hell he pulled this off. And remember how I told you we worked together? At least at one of his jobs. Yeah, there's something I didn't mention. Our relationship was completely secret. For 4 years, he didn't want anyone at work to know. He said it was because he didn't want people gossiping, didn't want to be the center of attention, and that keeping it private meant we could keep it special. He said that since we weren't in the same department, it wasn't against policy, but it was still better to keep things low-key. And honestly, at the time, it made sense. I agreed. But now, looking back, red freaking flag. So after everything exploded, I started digging. And what I found was insane. But wait, it gets worse. So much worse. Turns out, he was the creep of the company. I'm serious. After everything went down, I finally opened up to a few coworkers. And the tea they spilled? Unreal. 5 different women at work told me, straight to my face, that he had hit on them before. One of them said he even told her he wanted to marry her. Marry her? I was fuming. And the best or worst part? They had receipts, literal screenshots, flirty messages, voice notes, memes, photos. He was out here playing everybody, saying the same sweet things to all of us. I honestly felt sick. I kept replaying everything in my head, the way he would always say he was busy, The way he made me feel guilty when I wanted to go out more, when I wanted to make our relationship more public. And remember, he had 2 jobs, right? So naturally, I started wondering, what was he doing at his other job? Who was he seeing over there? How many other women were falling for the same act I did? Because let's be real, if he managed to keep 2 full-on girlfriends for years, who knows what else he was juggling? It wasn't just that he was a liar. He was a professional liar, a manipulator, a damn actor, Oscar-worthy. And you want to know the real kicker? He was always broke, always complaining about money, even with 2 jobs. He kept saying stuff like, I might have to find a 3rd job soon. Life's getting expensive, babe. I just don't know how I'm going to keep up. And the fool is to worry about him. Used to feel bad for him. Now I'm thinking, was he looking for a 3rd girlfriend to pay his way through life? Wouldn't be surprised at all. I still think about that sometimes. How close I came to moving in with him. How I trusted him with so much of my life. And how easy it was for him to lie with a straight face. The scary thing is, he's still out there. Still walking around like nothing happened. Still working, still talking to people. Probably still scamming someone new. I wanted to expose him. I still do, honestly. I wanted to post his face, tell my story, share everything Kate and I went through, warn the world. But instead, I'm just going to leave a few breadcrumbs. So, if you're reading this and your man has no social media, works 2 jobs, is always busy, keeps you a secret, says he needs a 3rd job but somehow still has no money, run. That man is lying, and you don't need to be the next chapter in his story.